Hey you, so on this video, Ultimate Silver Buying Guide for now, I'm going to be going over a range of questions really that I've recently getting for somebody that's going to be getting into silver now, and hopefully just bundle them all into the top 5 answers that I'll be giving in this video. So before we jump into this, I'd like to say if you haven't done so already and like what you hear/see, please do like and subscribe. So jumping straight into this, it's going to be an ultimate silver buying guide for now. So somebody who's just getting into silver, we all know there's a bit of a rush going on, a looming recession/depression, and it's going to be a follow-up from my ultimate gold buying video that was done before this video. So of course, we're going to get, if not the most asked question I always get, it's going to be totally up there, and that's going to be where to buy. Where can I buy my silver from? You know, there's a lot of dealers out there. I don't know where to go to. And I'm going to give a rather generic answer that can seem like the no-brainer to a veteran. But, you know, top countries I normally get asked from could be anywhere from America, Australia, and even in the UK. So what I'll do is give an answer where I think it will also help you with other steps that I'll be touching into. So, you know, straight off the bat, I would say anybody that wanted to know where to purchase some silver from, I would say if you was in the UK, for instance, you're going to want to head to Google. So Google's your best friend right now. Head over to Google and type in 1 ounce silver Britannia coin, the coin you're looking at right here. If you was in Australia, head over to Google, type in 1 ounce silver kangaroo coin, 1 ounce coin. If you're in America, type in 1 ounce silver American Eagle coin. And what that's going to do is give you a list of all the reputable dealers that sell that specific coin that you're looking for. Now, at the top of the list, it could be that government that produces these coins. So America could be the US Mint, and Australia could be the Perth Mint, and the UK could be the Royal Mint. But then what it's also going to do is give you a list of the secondary market dealers that sell that coin, and this is where it's going to be more of a benefit to you, because a lot of the times a lot of the dealers that people use are going to be within the top 20/50, and that's good because once again one of the benefits is going to be that you're going to have sites for good comparison. You know, I can reel you off a number of dealers in Australia, I can reel you off a number of dealers in America, I can reel off a number of dealers in the UK. I'll touch on the problems in the UK in a moment, but you know, from Googling yourself, you get to price match. You know, you get to see price comparisons, especially if you're digging deep down into the dealers. So that's going to be another top benefit. So you're getting from a reputable dealer, and you're getting to also price comparison and price match to find out what works best for you. Now, in the UK, for instance, if you're not purchasing from the Royal Mint, which I wouldn't recommend for silver because of the VAT implications and the premiums, you're going to get secondary market dealers. I'd say I'd go from the top 3 best. So in the UK, usually who pays more bang for buck is going to be bullion by post. Would I purchase silver from them? No. Would I purchase gold from them? Yes. I've purchased from silver from them in the past, but of course, you have to take into account their advertising budget. You know, some dealers may have a large overhead, a very large operation they're running, so they need to charge that extra premium. In Australia, you're typing in, you know, 1 ounce silver kangaroo. Perth Mint should come up tops, but then you're going to get secondary market dealers. Please let me know the secondary market dealers in the comments for everybody in Australia, for instance, because there's many people that want to know secondary market dealers. Also in the UK. And then for America, you're going to get, if not the US Mint, the largest dealer there would be, you know, the big bad APMEX, Mr. Exclusive, you know. Now, I've dealt with them in the past. It was a bit of a nightmare, but went on to be smooth. But, you know, my experience is going to differ from the next person's experience. So, once again, if you've dealt with APMEX, that's going to be the top of the pile when you're Googling. Let others know how it was in the comments, and also let others know a lot of dealers that you may use. But ultimately, the point I'm getting at is Google. You know, if you're using Google to your advantage, you're going to get compile a list of great dealers. And also a good thing for that is that, you know, when I've mentioned in previous videos that you need a list of dealers to resell to that you can contact, it will also give you that list there also. So for me, just reading off a number of dealers, also use, because I'm always telling people, check out the best dealers in your region. So no matter where you are on the planet, this doesn't just apply to UK, Australia and America. Wherever you are on the planet, if you hit Google, as mundane, as simple as this may sound, you know, a lot of people ask this question because they don't know where to start. Hit Google in your region and take a hit at the first 20 or even 50, or just kill the entire list, because you'll be able to build up a good little portfolio of dealers. Because when you're in physical, the weakest link is always going to be the dealer, i.e., when it's time to liquidate or purchase, it's out of your hands. So get a good list and build it up from there. So I would say that's going to be my where to buy. Hit Google and you'll find out where to buy. So that's going to be number one. Next, we're going to jump on to how to buy. You've just got into silver, you're dedicated, you're going to make that purchase, you've got your funds. Let's just work off that. It's $1,000, £1,000. Now, how are you going to purchase? Are you going to find that dealer you've just found or been recommended, and are you going to go in gun ho and just make that straight purchase, £1,000 worth of silver, and go all out? There's pros and cons to that. And the next one would be, are you going to stagger your purchases / dollar cost average, pound cost average? Are you going to purchase a small amount each month over a period of time? So first, I'm going to the pros of purchasing all at once. I am a prime example of somebody who was able to really gain of doing a large purchase all at once, but time was on my side at the time. We was in somewhat of a low spot price era. Now, depending on who you talk to, once again, I've heard of people that have been in the game for 50 years. So me getting spot price around the £9.50, £10 area is going to be terrible to them, because they had spot price in single digits, low single digits. But, within the past 8 years, I would say it was a very nice, handsome, low spot price that I was able to get into. So that was the plus side of me. And I went in all at once, took that risk, went in all at once, and I was able to really capitalize off of it. Now, once again, that was the plus side. I was able to get all of my silver at a very low spot price. The negative to that would be if you're purchasing in a high spot price. What is a high spot price? Especially if you're getting in. But, spot price could drop a little and then your stack technically is in the negative. This happened to a lot of people who purchased in 211. That, when silver was on the up, a lot of people ran to the joy and ended up getting, a little on the wreck side. So, it has its pros and cons. Staggering your purchases, pound cost average, dollar cost average, and spreading it over a number of months. Getting your £1,000 or dollars, and say, for instance, doing £300 purchases a month. On the 5th of the month, you spend £300, $300, make a purchase. Next month, for the 5th of the month, spend another $300, and follow on. So the plus side to that is, for yourself, it's the ultimate rule. You're not rushing into something that you've just found about and gotten into. You get a feel of the market. You get to see how things are. For instance, you can purchase 1 month. I'd say the spread's going to be anywhere from 30 cents to 30p, give or take. A lot can happen within a month, so you never know. But that's what I've seen within the past year plus. But the next month, the coin that you was purchasing could go on sale. The next month, the spot price could be down. Spot price could be up. But the benefit of dollar cost, pound cost averaging is that if you're spreading it over a period of time, ultimately it brings your ultimate cost, your overall cost, your average cost down in the long run. So what would I say to those? Once again, the negative to pound dollar cost averaging is going to be, you could purchase 1 month and then the dreaded happens. The dreaded is that moment a lot of stackers fear, physical stackers. You go to make your purchase and there's nothing there, all out. Technically come to that within these recent periods at the time of releasing this video, the pandemic, but dealers was unable to, and mints and likewise was unable to produce. So I wouldn't say we totally ran out, the well ran dry, but that would be a negative there, and you could be kicking yourself thinking, why didn't I pile it all in then? So you really have to figure out what you want to do. But I'd say if you're just getting into it and you have savings, especially a larger amount, take your time and stagger your purchases and get a feel of the market. That would be my advice. But let me know what you would do if you had savings and you wanted to go on from there. So the next one would be what to buy. Ultimately, what to buy, I'll put this into 3 categories. You're going to have your generic silver. What is generic? I would say anything that doesn't have a denomination, anything that's not produced by a government. Now, there are technically funny coins that have worked their way around that, i.e. you find these Rwandan coins or these coins with a normally African country denomination, like the, not from the South African mint, but, a lot of these coins, when they have the produced in Rwanda or Uganda or Ghana or one of these countries, that's the way they found to wiggle around that. But you'll have US producers of these coins unable to put dollars on their coins because they're not produced or sanctioned by the government. So I'd say anything that falls under that category is technically generic. If you're going for generic, you're going to want it at lowest to spot price. So, you want to be paying no more than 1 or 2% above spot price. Next, for instance, we have the governmented coins. The governmented coins are going to be produced by the government mint of that country. The plus side to that and why people prefer governmented coins is because it has that worldwide recognition and it's produced by the government. So it has that trust in it. As you can see here, produced by the British government, it has a £5 denomination. Some people won't purchase nothing that doesn't come with that stamp of approval, i.e. from the government. They have the trust in the current fiat system so that when they're going to the metals, they also want that trust. I totally understand where they're coming from. It does have its pluses, and I'll get into it in a moment. And then next, I thought I'd throw in there, because I get a lot of times, bars. I'm going to be going over what works best, from my opinion, in certain countries to others. So, those are your picks. I'm just going to land those picks right now. But in the comments, let me know what your picks would be. Now, generic could easily be anywhere from fractional silver, junk silver, all falls under that category. Government is, once again stated, it's going to be a government minted coin, so it's going to have a denomination. Pros and cons. Generic coins, I would class even generic with a lot of these private mints, whether they're the mints in Germany, and they're producing these coins. If I can find one, and it has a denomination, well, we should have one right here, if not mistaken. So, this would be a prime example of getting around the non-generic label. You can see the denomination there. I don't know what it is, but it's, it's stated that it was produced. So it gives the interpretation that it was produced by the Rwandan mint, but it wasn't. I can't read what that technically says, but it has a denomination. This is how a lot of the mints, even though this was produced in Germany and causes a lot of confusion, are able to get around that technically non-generic. It does have a government denomination, but it's not the government minted or government of the country of origin. So, but anything that isn't produced by one of the stronger mints, I believe in Australia they get around that with the islands, the Tuvalu coins. In the UK, you have Pubjoy. So there are a couple of countries that are able to use the pound denomination. But generic is anything that's not going to have that title. So you're going to want to pay as close to spot as possible. The negatives I see to that is on a first-hand market, i.e. selling to a dealer, there could be issues because it's not as easy to pass on for a dealer. And I'm not saying there's not a whole bunch of people that are not going to purchase generic. But from what I've seen, dealers do prefer gov-minted, but they're not going to turn it away, especially if they have a good secondary resale market for it. But I think as times get more tighter and newer money comes into it, they may be only going for what's recognized, especially if the person doesn't know too much about the metals. That's my own personal beliefs, but let me know. Once again, as you can see, a denomination here printed by the Perth Mint. Let me know your thoughts and opinions on that. So that's the downside to generic. Gov-minted, the pluses, as I just mentioned, it's a highly recognized, worldwide recognized coin from a strong mint and a strong country. So that's what you want in reality. Something that's going to be produced by the US mint and have that denomination. That's also going to be the Eagles and the likes of. And then they don't really put that stamp of approval on a lot of other coins that I've been paying attention of. But anything's being produced by the US mint, you're going to have, a great time with, i.e., it's a governmented coin. Negative, I would say, to government is going to be you're paying more over spot price on the premiums than generic, but you're paying that premium for a reason. You get that guarantee and trust, in my opinion. Now, going on to bars. If I was stacking in the US, I would most definitely stack bars. I'd stack more governmented bars because there's a fantastic secondary market for them and they do well. You pay lower premiums and they're easy to liquidate in the US. There's tons of bars, but I know, top of my head, I'd say the Royal Canadian Mint bars and I don't know, some of the 100-ounce plus bars. Bars do fantastic in the Americas and maybe outside of Europe. In Europe, bars are a bad buy. If you're in Europe or the UK, I wouldn't recommend bars. These were fancy purchases, funny enough, by volume by post, that I made earlier on in my career and, my stacking career, and it was what it was. I wouldn't purchase bars now because to liquidate, although I wouldn't say it's impossible, it's not the best option because you're buying at a very high premium and you're liquidating at spot price. Bars don't do well in Europe/the UK because of the high premiums you have to pay. VAT for a lot of countries where we don't have to pay VAT or very low VAT, you have to pay higher VAT on bars. Even with the Royal Mint, funnily enough, that produce 10-ounce and 100-ounce bars, they produce them mainly for the US market. They have started to sell them in the UK, but the premiums you're paying on top of that make it an absolute horrible buy. It's a terrible purchase, especially when you're purchasing silver in the UK in general. That's why a lot of the secondary market dealers are best, or dealers in Europe, i.e. Germany, you know, and likes of the countries in Belgium and the likes of, make it always a better option. But there's other videos for that, and contact me if you want to know where you can purchase silver at cheaper premium. So that's going to be what to buy. The next question would be when to buy. You know, a lot of people have told me that they've been watching a certain channel or certain mystic, you know, a chart reader, crystal ball seer, and they'll tell them spot price is about to drop, so hold on to your money, now's not the best time to buy. Or somebody would be chanting that spot price is about to blow, you know, and you've got your funds there sitting there looking left and right and don't know which way to go. Where should you jump out now and should you not? And what I would say to that is, a lot of people have been burnt trying to time the market, you know. So if you have the funds ready and you're good to go, I would say go. You know, don't listen to anybody. You're ready to go. When is a good time to buy? Now that you have the funds available. Once again, is it too high? You know, what's high? High for me may be very low for somebody else. You know, if you get in the market, and this is where maybe staggering or dollar cost averaging your purchases could be a massive benefit for yourself. When to buy is always when you're ready to go. You're not going to be blowing your entire load there and then, hopefully not. So, you know, whenever you're ready to go is going to be a fantastic time. Don't wait. You know, we've all seen what can happen with the pandemic. If anything, that was a bad thing because it brought the entire market to a standstill. So if you're good to go, go. When is a good time to buy? Whenever you've got the funds ready and you're able to purchase. Pay no attention to the current spot price, especially if you don't have a built up stack already. Last thing you want is to be holding dead fiat and a missed opportunity of being able to put that fiat into metals, real money, i.e. real money. So when is a good time to purchase? Whenever you're ready to pull the trigger. So next and last, I would say, is going to be how to store and who to tell. You know, I get many questions on whether I use a safe and how do I store my metals, and ain't I scared, and is it able? And this is very personal to everybody. You know, it'd be great if people in the comments can let everybody and anybody know how you store your metals. Now, I use a range of options. I do have safety deposit boxes linked to, you know, whatever, and I do have other properties that I store the metals, and then I do store metals where I may be, not that many. You know, it's going to differ from everybody. But to give an example, as somebody asked if I could, this is a monster box. You know, you can buy these empty from any dealer. Most dealers will sell these monster boxes. So just giving an example here, this is a monster box. This monster box is able to hold 500 ounces in coins. You know, so once again, hopefully you can see the dimensions and everything there. So this monster box is able to hold 500 ounces in coins. I believe it's a 4x5 setup, so you're going to have 4 coins in there, 4 tubes, sorry. So you're going to get 4 straight down and 5 across. So you're looking at 20 tubes. So once again, holding 25 coins. So it's going to get 500 ounces there. If you're stacking 1 ounce coins and you're using these tunes as a prime example, 1 ounce, give or take, the majority of the Rome Mint coins, sub-rectangles. I believe you can get, I think it's different configurations for the tubes of the American Eagles and the silver maples. But would you be able to store this box in comparison, conceal it well in an attic, in a basement, in furniture? You know, that's the question you have to ask yourself. Now, not forget, this holds 500 ounces. I'm just giving a prime example here. You know, if you feel that you couldn't hide a box of this size comfortably within your residence, then, you know, you may have to use the option of vault storage, you know, i.e. a bank or private vault storage. You may have to use an option of burying or something like that. How to store is always going to be extremely subjective and different from person to person. But asking me, you know, do I take that chance? You could hide this in plain sight. Once again, just using this one method of a monster box and giving the example of the size of, you know, what 500 ounces could look like, and are you able to hide something of this size? You know, and I'll leave it at that. So then also who to tell. Doubling both questions. It's a no-brainer once again. the more people you tell, the more risk. You know, if you was looking at a risk meter and it was to go up and up each time, each person you tell, the meter goes up, you know. So you just look at it like that. Nobody needs to know. Do you go around telling people how much you have in your bank account? Yes, I know it's different, and it's that different that it's somewhat of a shock to your system. But if you was to look at it like that, the less people that know, the less chance or anything can happen. Yes, something can happen, but if nobody knows, then you're in a much better case. So how to store is going to be however you choose to store, and those are always going to be the options. Everybody has their own options. Please let me know down below in the comments on how you store or what you would recommend on storing. But I'm going to wrap this one up, guys, because this has been the ultimate silver buying guide for now. Anybody getting into the metals, hopefully I covered the most asked questions and the most basic questions, but I'd love to know your answers to the questions that I've put out there. So where to buy, you know, where would you buy, how would you recommend buying, how to buy, do you dollar cost average or do you go all in at once, what to buy, are you generics only, government only, bars only, or a combination of all, and when to buy. Is there a better time to purchase, season wise or, you know, trigger wise or market wise, and how to store and who to tell. So let me know your comments, should I say your answers, down below. Once again, if you haven't done so already, please do like and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys on the rebound.